Hi there, I'm attorney Kelly Longtin, founder of Kelly Longtin Law, and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about what happens to your Venmo, your PayPal, or your Apple Pay accounts when you pass away. Now, it's been said that nothing ever dies on the internet. While this dictum is typically used as a warning that what we put online may come back to haunt us, it is also true that our online accounts can outlive us and even live in perpetuity. Having a digital estate plan that makes arrangements for what happens to these accounts when we die is essential. In modern estate planning, digital accounts such as PayPal, Venmo, and Apple Pay must be considered every bit as much as bank accounts, retirement accounts, and other traditional financial and payment accounts. Digital accounts can be conveniently closed upon the account holder's death, provided they plan ahead. These types of accounts can still be closed without a digital estate plan, but not having an estate plan could make things harder for your loved ones. So let's talk about PayPal first. Founded in 1998, PayPal was not the first company to offer online payments, but it was the first to obtain widespread adoption and is the top payment application among Americans today, with around 3 out of 4 respondents saying they are active users. According to PayPal, only the authorized administrator or executor of a deceased person's estate can take the necessary steps to close the decedent's account. These steps entail providing the following documentation to the company's deceased account team. First, you need a cover sheet identifying primary email address that was associated with the PayPal account. You have to supply the requester's email address and a copy of their government-issued ID. You need a copy of the account holder's death certificate, and you need legal documentation such as a copy of the will identifying the estate executor. Once PayPal receives this information via email or physical mail, the requester will either be issued a check or given access to the deceased customer's linked bank account to transfer the balance. PayPal will then close or lock the account. Closing an Apple Pay account is what I'm going to talk about next. Now, Apple Pay is a relatively new player and does no payments, but since launching in 2013, it has seen rapid adoption and reportedly surpassed MasterCard recently in the dollar value of annual transactions. It is more appropriate to call Apple Pay a system rather than an app. CNET describes Apple Pay as a linchpin that makes digital iPhone payments possible using debit, credit cards, an Apple Card, or Apple Cash. Apple ID is the account used to access all Apple services, including Apple Pay. The company offers 3 ways to gain access to and delete a loved one's Apple ID and associated data. The most burdensome way requires a court order that verifies the following information: the deceased's name and Apple ID, the name of the next of kin requesting access to the decedent's account, that the decedent was the user of all Apple ID associated accounts, that the requester is legally authorized to act on behalf of the decedent, and that Apple is required to provide access to the decedent's account. The easier way for an Apple user to give someone access to their Apple ID is to add a legacy contact. This method involves an access key provided to a trusted person and a copy of the Apple ID account holder's death certificate. Once inside the account, the legacy contact can delete the Apple ID. Apple also allows someone with an Apple ID and the required legal documentation to permanently delete a deceased person's Apple ID. Deletion requests are made on the Digital Legacy Delete Apple ID page. Now let's talk about Venmo. Venmo came out in 2009, and 4 years later it was bought by PayPal. Users, which number around 80 million, are mostly based in the US and can pay for goods and services in the Venmo app. They can transfer funds to friends and they can receive direct deposits. The Venmo digital wallet, like PayPal, can be linked to a user's credit card and bank account. The Venmo Help Center provides details about submitting a deceased customer notification for the Venmo credit card issued by Synchrony Bank. It links to a form that asks for the cardholder's name and address and account number and social security number, as well as information about the executor, next of kin, and the requester. The Venmo support team must be contacted for assistance with the cardholder's Venmo account. 2 options are provided on the help request form: one for customers who need help with their account, and one for non-Venmo customers. There's also a place for adding attachments. This could include documents necessary to close out the account, such as a copy of the decedent's death certificate and legal documentation authorizing the requester to act on behalf of the decedent's estate. Now, the Venmo support team, they actually have a phone number you can use, and that's 855-812-4430. While Apple, PayPal, and other companies have automated systems for accessing or closing a deceased user's account, some companies like Venmo are not so clear about how to access digital assets and may need to be contacted directly for assistance. A digital estate plan that contains account login credentials can speed up the process of settling online payment accounts. Login passwords can be stored in a password manager, such as 1Password or LastPass, and shared with family members for easy access. As an alternative, this information can be placed in a password-protected digital spreadsheet or handwritten list. Now, regardless of the method, make sure that family members know how to access account logins. The digital estate plan should be regularly updated to reflect changes to login credentials. If a list of passwords is out of date, it will be effectively useless. Now, an account may require additional access information, such as a PIN number or a two-factor authorization. Alongside username and passwords, be sure to list this information to provide full access. For example, two-factor authentication requires an associated phone number or email address. The digital estate plan should also specify whether online payment accounts are linked to recurring bills so that automatic bill payments can be canceled. As part of settling the estate, payees must be contacted separately to settle any outstanding payments. If an Apple Cash, PayPal, or Venmo account has a positive balance, that money can be transferred to an associated bank account, or a digital estate plan can specify transfer of account ownership to an individual heir. PayPal allows ownership transfer of a business account. Ownership of a Venmo group account can be transferred, and Apple Card family can have co-owners. Alternatively, the balance of a PayPal, Venmo, or Apple Pay account cannot be gifted to an heir. Ideally, a digital estate plan lists all of the devices and online accounts, instructions for accessing them, such as the email address and password and PIN, and how to settle each account. If you do not want anyone to access your accounts after you die, then that can be part of your legacy too. Just make sure everything is spelled out in detail through consultation with an estate planning attorney. Now, most states have adopted rules that govern how an executor or an agent or a trustee can access a person's online accounts when they die or become incapacitated. To take control of your digital estate in a way that conforms with your wishes and the law, you want to get in touch with your local estate planning attorney and schedule a meeting. I want to thank you for watching. I'm attorney Kelly Longtin, founder of Kelly Longtin Law, where we provide effective estate planning for everyday families.